No, but it's literally so good. I could not believe how good it is, and it's like it was really one of those movies that like I went in and I didn't know I needed it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you came out and you go like I came out and I was like, oh, I'm a better person now.
Okay.
Like that movie centered me. Like it brought me back to what I've been or who I've been wanting to be as a person. Like it was that impactful, and it was so fucking good.
I thought it was just gonna be a weird, quirky, alternate reality.
That's there too.
Weird. It definitely knew. That's all I thought it was gonna be at least. So it does something different that's special.
Yeah,
I'm guessing. I'll find out.
It's fucking great. Absolutely everything, everywhere, all at once. Everybody go watch that movie. It's so like everything you hear. Yes.
Yeah.
Just yes. Like last 20, 30 minutes, I was on the verge of tears. Like I had tears in my eyes. And I'm just sitting here. I'm like, fucking hell, man. Funny as hell. Laughing throughout the whole thing. Great homages to like Jackie Chan action comedy movies and stuff. I'm gonna move this here now. Good job, Tavin. You thought you had it set. You didn't. But yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a watch. That and The Northman will be my two good sounding movies coming out this month.
I just want to watch that because I love Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah, I don't know how much. I won't lie. I don't think he's gonna be in there that long. I
don't think so either. But I love me some Willem Dafoe.
I do as well. Yeah.
But yeah, that's such an interesting and strange actor. I love his work. He's so good.
He does whatever.
All right, Connor. Happy Easter.
Oh yeah, it is Easter.
It is Easter on the day of recording.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I
hope you had a good Easter. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 90.
10 away.
10 away.
100.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this show is a show where me, your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend Connor Elliott. Say hello to the people, Connor.
Hi.
We sit down every week, Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time, youtube.com/2pennygamescast, or mainstream podcast services of your choice, and we tell you all the new news in the video game industry. We each come to you with two topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and then we give you our 2 cents on them. But if just talking about video games isn't enough, you want to see some video game action. Well, boy, oh boy, do I got some action for you. You can go join us over at twitch.tv/2pennygames, where we stream games, I don't know, all hours of the week. Who knows? You know, we might pop in random Thursday night or something, random Friday night. Who knows? We stream every major game release on that night. But every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time, me and my good buddy Phil sit down and we play a little, we put on a little show called Hype, HYEP, Have You Ever Played, in which one of us shows the other a video game that they've never played before. Now, that's usually at Tuesdays, twitch.tv/2pennygames, 2 p.m. Central Time, but Phil's out of town for a few weeks. So, it's going to be me playing who knows whatever I'm in the mood for. Probably some Star Wars Republic Commando this week, because I'm into some Star Wars. I'm on a Star Wars kick right now because of Lego Star Wars. So, come join me on that Tuesday, twitch.tv/2pennygames. Also, it's a busy week over on the YouTube side, youtube.com/2pennygamescast, where right now you can see our review for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie. Me and Phil, we went and saw it. We came home. We went and reviewed it. Go check that out. See how we felt about it. Connor, did you watch the review?
I have not yet, no.
You bitch-made ass little...
Hey. I have had a tough week.
Oh, have you? It's so tough. Oh.
I'm working overtime, man. When I'm on overtime, I can't watch the videos. That's just how it works.
Oh, you don't watch the videos anyway. Also, this week, Tuesday, 8 a.m. Central Time, the Catherine After the Hype review is going live. It was Phil's first time playing Catherine. We reviewed it. Go check that out. And then every day after that at 1 p.m. Central Time at youtube.com/2pennygamescast, the VOD for Metal Gear Solid 3 will be going live on YouTube. So I've got 3 parts edited right now, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Go watch those. It'll be a fun time. Go see Phil's first time playing Metal Gear. And I think that's everything. There's also a gameplay video for a game that I've been playing. You can go watch that right now, but we're going to get to that in a little bit. Stay here. So let me come talk to you about that. Connor, it's time to get into the news. My first penny of the day.
Some big ones this week.
Some big ones this week. Now, Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a listener of this show, you know that we love video games. We love video game culture, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, video games are toys. And we care more about the people who make them than the toys themselves. So we're putting the toys to the side. And we're going to talk about some more Activision Blizzard news because we just can't get enough. We're pulling a Polygon article by Nicole Carpenter. Fate of Activision Blizzard lawsuit unclear as California lawyer accuses governor of interference. A lawyer with California's Department of Fair Housing and Employment has resigned after accusing Governor Gavin Newsom of interfering with the state's Activision Blizzard lawsuit, according to a Bloomberg report. The lawyer, Melanie Proctor, worked as assistant chief counsel for DFEH and told staff Tuesday night she was resigning after her boss, chief counsel Janet Whipper, was fired by the governor, Bloomberg reports. The two lawyers left the Activision Blizzard lawsuit earlier this month, according to court documents filed April 5th. A representative for the lawyers confirmed to Bloomberg that Proctor resigned and that Whipper was fired. With the two top lawyers off the Activision Blizzard case, the fate of the lawsuit becomes unclear, Bloomberg said. Bloomberg reports that Proctor told staff that Newsom, quote, began to interfere with the Activision Blizzard lawsuit and that his interference began, quote, mimicking the interests of Activision's counsel. Whipper was fired after attempting to protect the DFEH's investigation, Bloomberg said. A spokesperson for Whipper told Bloomberg she's, quote, evaluating all avenues of legal recourse, including a claim under the California Whistleblower Protection Act. The DFEH told Polygon that it does not comment on personal matters and said that the department will continue to vigorously enforce California's civil rights and fair housing laws. Newsom's communications director, Aaron Mellon, told Polygon in an emailed statement, quote, claims of interference by our office are categorically false. Mellon continued, quote, the Newsom administration supports the effective work DFEH has done under the director Kevin Kish to enforce civil rights laws and protect workers, and will continue to support DFEH in their efforts to fight all forms of discrimination and protect Californians. The agency filed the lawsuit July 2021 after a 2-year. Okay, this is the thing about this is just a recap of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
it's not surprising that the government of California is not fully against Activision Blizzard. I mean, it's kind of standard for when big companies like this face scrutiny like this, they're protected as much as possible. Now,
America gonna be America, right?
Yeah, exactly. But to have the governor of California be the one that steps in and effectively gets a lawyer fired and forces one to resign due to just being placed under incredible stress as a result of not being able to do their jobs, which is, help the people. Because this lawsuit affected, as we've covered in the show, tons and tons of Blizzard employees. And this is one of their best recourses against Activision Blizzard right now. Mm-hmm. And it's not going too well because American politics are what they are, which is extremely interfering.
This is very disappointing, very upsetting, very angering. I'm not a citizen of California, but my family has roots in California. Mm-hmm. I wish to and call upon the governor. I wish to see and call upon the governor to resign. Mm-hmm. It's clear to me you care more about personal profits and political gain through whatever they're giving you more than the citizens that you're supposed to be serving. Mm-hmm. Time for you to step down, buddy, because you are part of the problem. You are the problem. Mm-hmm. And if you're gonna play with people's lives like this, like I'll remind you, like this frat boy culture drove a woman to suicide. Mm-hmm. You're playing with people's lives here, man. Like, no, you don't deserve to be in the position of power that you're in. That's really all I've got to say about it, is Newsom is a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's one of those figures that I'm surprised hasn't been voted out, considering the state many places in California are in right now. And, an issue that I've always paid attention to when it started happening fairly recently is just horrible laws being put against homeless people, where they aren't basically allowed to be homeless. It's basically outlawing homelessness, and they can't exist anywhere because they don't have a home, and they can't be in most places outside, so then they have police come in and force them out, and none of that was addressed by Newsom in a proper way. He didn't try to stop it from happening. He didn't try to do anything because he doesn't care about people. It's just a matter of fact, just doesn't care about people. He cares about only his self improvement as a politician and as a moneymaker. I don't know where he gets his money from, but
I don't.
It's obviously it has to be tied to this.
Clearly, Activision Blizzard is giving him something. America's going to be America.
Mm-hmm.
This is, if you pay attention, this is nothing new. This is far from surprising, and it's really disappointing, but expected. So, moving on. Connor, your first penny of the day, our second topic. China is out here doing China stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
So we've kind of covered this progressing thing a few times now. So this is a Reuters.com article by Sophie Yu and Josh Ye. In latest gaming crackdown, China bans live streaming of unauthorized titles. China said on Friday the live streaming and unauthorized video games was banned, signaling stricter enforcement of rules as part of its broad crackdown on the gaming industry aimed at purging content the government does not approve of. The National Radio and Television Administration said platforms of all kinds must not live stream games that are not approved by related authorities. In particular, the live streaming of overseas games or competitions should not be carried out without approval, it said, adding that live streamers should resist abnormal aesthetics and harmful celebrity fan culture. Quote, for a period of time, issues such as chaotic online live streaming and teenage addiction to games have raised widespread concern in society, and effective measures need to be taken urgently, the regulator said in a notice on its website. Daniel Ahmad, a senior analyst at research firm Nico Partners, said while unlicensed games could not officially be released in mainland China, many were promoted on live streaming platforms such as Huya Inc., Douyu International Holdings, and Bilibili Incorporated. Quote, earlier this year, Elden Ring was a hit on Chinese game live streaming platforms, reaching 17.1 million cumulative daily average viewers despite not having a license, he said. Last year, China introduced new rules that limit the amount of time under 18-year-olds can spend on video games to 3 hours a week, a move it said was necessary to combat gaming addiction. It also implemented a freeze on gaming licenses, which regulators only lifted this week after gaming companies made major adjustments to their business practices. Companies have been asked to delete content that is violent, deemed to celebrate wealth, or foster the worship of celebrities. On Thursday, China's largest gaming firm, Tencent Holdings, said it would shut down a service allowing Chinese gamers to play unapproved foreign games on overseas platforms. The impact of this latest ban on the shares of major Chinese gaming and live streaming firms was not immediately clear. Hong Kong markets were closed on Friday for a holiday, while Huya and Douyu are listed in the United States. The ban could impact game companies quite significantly if it's strictly implemented, says Charles Yu, head of law firm Pillar Legal's Shanghai office. Tencent, Douyu, Huya, and Bilibili did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Another one that's unfortunate and disappointing. Unfortunately, us being Americans, there's not a whole lot we can do except say, hey, we don't really like that and don't agree with that.
It's not even surprising because we know that this is the attitude the Chinese government has been taking towards video games for up until recently. So expect more bad things to happen in the months to come because China, the government of China by nature doesn't want freedoms for certain people based on their own values. They force it onto every one of their other citizens, and if you don't follow it, well, at worst, a meme has kind of come about of Chinese social credit scores, which can be impacted by simple things like speaking out against the Chinese government, and then it can get so bad it can prevent you from even shopping at grocery stores, and other people have to buy it for you because you're effectively banned from those places. So with that kind of attitude towards their citizenry, it's not really all that surprising that they turn to video games next. Mm-hmm. I mean, basically any topic.
This is a developing story that we've been covering for the last year too. So
yeah,
it's just another freedom that the Chinese peoples are being stripped of.
Yeah. And there's not much they can really even do about it either because it's the Chinese government. If we can't do anything, the U.S. government can't do anything to them. It's going to be difficult for them as well.
The U.S. government's not going to get involved in things like this. Why would they?
It's out of their business.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, we're just telling you the news, and
Yep,
this is
the news.
This is going on.
Not much else to really say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks for that, especially like Elden Ring pulling in so much attention, which that game totally makes sense, would get a bunch of Chinese admiration, and the fact that gamers out there can't enjoy that content or enjoy Elden Ring itself, like that's really disappointing from for them.
Mm-hmm.
So best wishes is the most I can give y'all out here.
Same here.
Moving on. Topic number 3. Connor, your second penny of the day. Here we go. Some more bullshit. Square Enix president reiterates desire to make play-to-earn blockchain games. This is a VGC report by Andy Robinson. Square Enix president Yasuki Matsuda has reiterated his desire for the Final Fantasy publisher to create play-to-earn blockchain games. In a new interview with Yahoo Japan, the exec said he believed that focusing only on traditional games would be not enough for the company going forwards, and described his vision for titles in which users could create content and be rewarded for their work. Quote, "In the future, we would like to try our hand at providing autonomous game content," the president told Yahoo. Quote, "Until now, in most games, we provided the content as a finished product, and the players played that content. However, there are a certain number of players in the world who want to contribute to making games more interesting by creating new settings and ways of playing." He added, quote, "In the future, we want to utilize the power of these people to create games that will continue to evolve. If, instead of relying on goodwill, we can also provide incentives to those who contribute to development by utilizing technologies such as blockchain, there is a possibility that innovative and interesting content can be created from the ideas of users." Matsuda was previously criticized by some in the games industry for a New Year letter in which he expressed the company's enthusiasm for emerging trends and committed to making blockchain and NFT games. In the letter, the president said he believed that blockchain games, quote, "hold the potential to enable self-sustaining game growth by pushing the play-to-earn concept." The execs went on to suggest that the ability for users to earn from their digital creations in-game could revitalize user-generated content, and claimed the lack of incentives had previously limited user creation. Quote, "I realize that some people who play to have fun and who currently form the majority of players have voiced their reservations towards these new trends, and understandably so," he wrote. However, "I believe that there will be a certain number of people whose motivation is to play to contribute, by which I mean to help make the game more exciting." The president's letter was criticized by many industry commentators, including a game designer and consultant Brand Sheffield, who wrote, quote, "Among all the grossness of this whole letter, and even this quote, what gets me is the idea that people who play games to have fun are only currently the majority, and the implication that changing this is a good idea." Game development veteran Shahid Ahmad, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, added, quote, "We already have an entitlement issue amongst many players, and I'd argue that the behavior of large organizations has been a factor in that shift. That will accelerate and become ugly if large orgs then try to turn their players into mechanical Turks for their utopian metaverses." However, at the time, Matsuda's letter triggered an 8% jump in Square Enix share price. It's the best single-day increase since last August. The continuous corporate greed never seems to end with the NFT conversation here.
NFTs are not liked by a majority of people. Like, it goes from, it's not just they don't care. A lot of people just straight up do not like NFTs. They
actively campaign against them as much as they can. Yeah.
I mean, my main criticisms, the main criticisms I see of NFTs comes from Twitter. That's where I originally found out about NFTs, and it's where I hear a lot of the stories of NFTs.
Well, it's financially not backed either. You saw if you were paying attention to I believe we covered it. Maybe we skipped over it because we didn't feel like it was necessary. But the Ghost Recon NFT project failed spectacularly, and they're closing that down because it didn't make them any money.
Yeah.
Like, people are not supporting this. They're actively going out of their way to, damage this idea and this trend in games. Like, we don't want it here because, one, it's money grubbing. It's a new version of microtransactions to a much grosser degree. It's got a dangerous effect on the environment, which is what I care about the most. And like I agree with what Ahmad said here in the article of like, why are we trying to change the fact that people play video games for fun? What are y'all doing?
I play them to have anger issues and get angry and get upset and get sad. But not in a good way, not in a satisfying story way.
Now, this like weird future where they're like, hey man, we can build a self-sustaining thing with our communities and so on and so forth. Like, and people can create and have, more influence on. Like, I like that idea. I don't see how that's gonna happen or work because, to my understanding, video games are really hard to make, and something as small as just changing a single texture could break the entire game. So you want to give that out to randos? You know what I mean?
I feel like there's some technical issues that would come up in games that use them somehow.
It's just not gonna work. Like, it's just not. Like, and I think any attempt to include NFTs or this blockchain thing, which I don't fully understand what the blockchain is, but it is only to prey on the consumer.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that people who, apparently produce NFT content have been found out to just take money and run and give people faulty fake NFTs that aren't actually just theirs alone. It shows that it's not really a good system, not a perfect system at all, and one that doesn't need to exist. Because as you said before, games are for fun, right? Doing these kinds of, like, microtransactions was the farthest that it should go. You can buy extra content with your own real-life money. That obviously has some negative effects. It's not all positive by any means. In fact, many people would think it's horrible.
We've seen disastrous effects to it. The launch of Star Wars Battlefront 2 being the poster child of that. But at the same time, we have seen implementations that are, solid, understandable.
This, however, I always think of the environmental damage it causes as well.
Yep.
It's not really worth it. For a video game, too, at the end of the day, just so they can get more money, because that's their goal. That's what they want. It's another avenue to get revenue from their games. And so it's no wonder that someone like the head of Square Enix would be advocating for something like that.
It's also short-term, too. Like, all you're doing is just damaging your own reputation and hurting future prospects. Like, if Square Enix, really does decide to go this route and make it a really big business model in their practice, I'm going to stop playing Square Enix games because I don't want to. Like, that doesn't work for me. I play games to have fun and, for the great stories and worlds that I could be a part of, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and have all the fun with my friends and all that shit. But, and, respect it as an art form, all that fucking pretentious shit that I like to be on. But, like, yo, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Thankfully, this is something that, if the consumer doesn't want it, all they have to do is not spend their money on things that happen. Might be difficult for some people, depending on how it's implemented, on what games it's implemented on.
Yep.
But you vote with your dollar when it comes to when it comes to businesses. So when something like this comes out in the very beginning, you kind of have to squash it if you don't want it to exist in the future. If you just give it a bit of momentum, that gets screwed over.
The market is speaking too. Yeah. Like, it's not working, but it just takes one. It just takes one to make it work.
Yeah, and then everyone sees the profit that could be made off that, and for better or worse, whether they make money or not, they're going to do it, and then we're going to see the fallout from that.
Yep. Hopefully, this is just a trend that dies as quickly as it can.
It has slowed down. That's the positive thing. You see a lot less people talk about it.
It's dying quicker than I've seen any other trend that has hit the video game market. Like, when the games of service thing was popping off, everything was a battle royale. Microtransactions, day one DLCs, when DLC used to be really, like, used to detract from games, and they would, cut off content and put it in a DLC pack that you could buy, shortly. Like, all of that, like, when EA was doing its, like, what were they called? The, like, the little registration things that you had to put in a code to play online. Remember this? You had to buy a new copy of the game. Yeah, I forget what that was called.
It was a while ago.
It was a long time ago, but the market is speaking so clearly and so loudly, in my opinion, that it seems like this is going to get shut down quicker than any of those other ones. Yeah. We'll see, because, greed is going to be greed,
They'll try the best they can. We just got to stop them. So don't buy things if they have them. Just don't.
Don't buy anything. Pirate your games. I'm lying.
Yes.
Don't do
that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm lying. Don't do that. Support the arts.
Yes, that is true. That's the only good part about that. The bad part.
Become a fucking Game Pass subscriber. You'll play more games. You'll play better games. You'll play great games. Anyways.
What if you don't have a PC or Xbox?
Fucking, I don't know. You can do it on your phone. Like, what? It works on your phone, too. Like, it's cool. Buy a fucking, what are those things called? The grips? The
dot? Like
no, there's like a popular one that like it's a controller that you can stick on, like a controller grip that you can stick on your phone and it works. There's like a really popular one for iPhones. They haven't made one for Androids yet.
Okay.
Moving on, final topic of the day, Connor. Now to talk about some toys.
Yeah, for the only time I think this show.
Back to talking about toys. So, CD Projekt Red, man, they're doing stuff, man. It doesn't seem too great. So, I'm gonna read this article and then I'm gonna add on some other stuff that I was seeing because it was a big news week for CD Projekt Red this week. This I think is the most prominent point to come out of it. Everything else we shall see. So, pulling an article from The Verge, Jade Peters, The Witcher 3's next-gen update isn't in development hell, according to CD Projekt Red. CD Projekt Red announced on Wednesday that the next-gen update for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt would be delayed, but the company insists it's not in, quote, some sort of development hell. As part of the delay announcement, CDPR said that the update would miss its planned Q2 release and that the studio would move development of the update in-house. CDPR did not announce a new release date or even an expected timeline, which led some publications, including The Verge, to write that the game has been delayed indefinitely. CDPR's SVP of Business Development, Mikhail Nowakowski, took issue with that characterization in an investor call this week. Quote, when it comes to the next-gen launch of The Witcher 3, I think there's one comment I actually want to make, he said. Quote, I've been looking at headlines that popped up here and there over the internet, and I've seen one that really drew my attention, which is Witcher 3 Next Gen delayed indefinitely, which sounds like the game is in some sort of development hell. I want to state that this is not the fact. There's been a lot of insinuations that we're going to launch in June of next year or something like that. That's completely not the case. Wow. He's stopped short of giving details on when we might be able to play the update. The next comments of Nowakowski suggest that it may not be too far off. Quote, everything we're saying is we have taken development of the game in-house. The game is going to be finished in-house. We're evaluating our time. That requires a bit of investigation. That's all we're saying. Nobody is saying the game is delayed in some monumental time gap ahead of us. CD Projekt Red's Carolina Gnas, I'm sorry, for mispronouncing your name, confirmed to The Verge that the update was originally being developed by Saber Interactive, which handled the impressive Switch port for The Witcher 3. However, Saber Interactive has an office in Russia, and as Kotaku noted, a Russia gaming outlet reported in March that CDPR's cut ties with that office, which was reportedly handling the next-gen update. Gnas did not reply to a question asking if the Russian office was the one working on the update. So, there's that, which generally is unfortunate, but I'll take a delay for whatever, especially The Witcher 3, which is one of my favorite video games of all time. I would love a next-gen update of it, get higher frame rates, better resolutions, cut out those loading screens, all that would be fucking great. Maybe a UI update or something to just give it a little more freshness.
Yeah,
I would appreciate all of those things. So take your time, make it right. Let me get the platinum again. Fuck it. All that
That's
fun
what you
stuff.
want.
I would like to play The Witcher 3 again and experience that journey again.
To be honest, I would as well. So
You're not playing it.
I haven't
playing it.
even touched the DLC, so I might just jump on it.
You're not playing it.
Tavin, is this another challenge to me?
You're not playing it. I'm saying it right here. Here. What day is today? Today is April the 17th, 2022, 6:53 p.m. on a Sunday on the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 90. Connor, you're not fucking touching that next-gen update. I'm putting it down right now.
I say that I am, and I think I will.
You will
because
not
you have slandered me.
You won't. You won't.
That's too. Okay, so you're doing one of two things. You're either super confident that I'm not going to play it.
Yeah.
Or you're being so confrontive of like you're not going to play it to make me want to play it more.
The answer is yes to both of those things.
Okay, there you go. Damn, I thought it was just one or the other.
No, I'm absolutely 1,000% confident that you will not touch The Witcher 3's next gen update. The time will come, You'll be all talk. You'll be like, yeah, I'm interested in playing it. Yeah, I'd like to play it again. All this talk. But when the time comes, you're gonna be like, oh, I was a little too busy. Oh, I'm distracted replaying Elden Ring for the 4th time by the time that game comes out.
Haven't beat it yet.
Yeah. But
Can't
by the time. Anyways, Connor, do you believe them when they say it's not gonna take that long?
You see, that was my little issue with this story because the last time I remember CD Projekt Red saying things about the development of their game was Cyberpunk 2077, and notably they lied not only to what exactly was in the game to gamers, but to shareholders on how good the game was doing.
Platform holders.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that they lied to Sony and to Xbox to get their game out.
Yeah. So when people are saying, "Oh, this next gen update's in development hell," and then they come out and say, "No, it's not." Could they be telling the truth? Sure, but there's goodwill that had been lost as a result of Cyberpunk. So now this is a perfect chance for them to actually prove that, oh no, it's not actually in development hell. What we said was true. It just it's taking time, and we want to spend time on our game. I have no problem with that whatsoever, and nobody else should. But I can also see them just lying to try and make it seem like it's better off than it actually is.
Well, here I believe them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's in development hell. I think it's actually probably pretty close to release. I think instead of I think it was supposed to come out this summer or something. I think instead of that, maybe this fall or this winter or something like that. I still think we get this game this year. I think, the political situation with Russia, and it was being handled by Saber Interactive, which did good work with The Witcher 3 on the Switch. That game should not run on that platform, but it runs fairly well, to my understanding. I didn't play it on Switch because why would I do that? But it's impressive that they got that game to work that well and look as good as it looks on that piece of hardware. Good for them. And I'm sure Saber was doing a solid job with the next-gen update as well, but unfortunately, the political situation with Russia and Ukraine forces CDPR to, say, hey, sorry, but we're gonna stand by, the statements we've made of, supporting Ukraine and cutting off Russia and, tanking that economy. Unfortunately, that means y'all have lost this job. Y'all don't get to continue this work. We're pulling it in-house. We're gonna do it ourselves. We're gonna make sure that, and I think also, let's say the next gen update comes out, and because it was handled by Saber, and for one reason or another, COVID or the Russian political situation, the things come up that block progress on the next gen update. The typical gamer isn't going to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to see The Witcher 3 was good. It is now not good. Just like Cyberpunk. And then they're going to take... CDPR is going to take another image hit from that. Where here it's like, hey, all right, we're going to take our time. We're going to make sure our masterpiece still comes out a masterpiece. And then it's going to be under our name. So, this is actually a way in which that they could improve their image from the dumpster fire that it's in right now. And you bring up Cyberpunk 2077. They had a bunch of financial calls and stuff. They said Cyberpunk sold 18 million units since launch of 2020, right? Yeah, it was a fall 2020 game. Not a great number. Now, it may sound like a great number, because to most games it would be a great number, but you remember that game launched and sold 14 million units.
Yeah.
So in a year and a half, give or take, you only sold another 4? Yikes. And you had a next-gen update that came out last month, and that didn't push the needle? Wow. Really? That kind of sucks. They also announced that the Witcher series has sold 40 million units. Or The Witcher 3 has sold 40 million units, rather. So, that's great. Witcher 3 is a great game, and they still deserve to be commended for the great game that they produced, which is on a bunch of different platforms. They're going to get another, they got sales boosts from every time the Witcher TV show dropped a season on Netflix and stuff. So on and so forth, and, all of the big hype from what that game did. But yeah, CDPR was expecting 30 million units. By what time frame? I don't know, but they're not getting it, obviously. I'd be shocked to see if even Cyberpunk remains a brand name that they tie themselves closely to. We could get a sequel. Who knows?
They still seemed interested in it. They haven't really seemed to write it off yet.
There's quotes and statements of like, "Hey, man, we're still committed to this as a series or whatever." I'm like, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. But we've got one major like DLC pack coming, and then they were supposed to do 2. One of them was supposed to be out already. Obviously, they had to pause to fix the game.
Yeah. Put everything else on the back burner.
Yeah. So, but like, and now there's not even any word of the second DLC that they said. So, who even knows? They might. And I think like Jason Schreier, I also saw on Twitter, said, "Hey, Evan, they've also like been like." They're starting to move teams onto the next Witcher game. So it's.
They also talked about that multiplayer all those years ago,
That's
and
not coming.
we haven't heard any word on that.
None of that's coming. They're gonna move. And I think it's a smart move. They need to get away from Cyberpunk 2077.
It's unfortunately came out not as good as it was supposed to.
Not even close. Even if it came out and it worked, it wasn't the game they were promising. It was just a pretty good Fallout game. Like it wasn't even like better than like Fallout 3. So like that's unfortunate, but
as it goes.
So let's hope for the best for the future of CDPR. Connor, that's it for the news, my friend.
No news.
No news. No more news. Connor, let's move on to what we've been playing. We're gonna start with you because I'm gonna take up probably more time than you are. What have you been playing, my friend?
Yeah. I've continued Elden Ring. I'm still crawling along with that game.
Yeah.
I'm not bored of it yet.
No.
I'm every single area I go to, I'm always basically in the same
Do you know
kind
how many
of
hours
mindset.
deep you're in now?
99.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I've been trying to explore every area that I possibly could.
Yeah.
Just because due to the length of the game and the size of it and the fact that I put so many hours in, once I finish this playthrough, I'm definitely going to play a second playthrough, but it's a while away. So I want my as comprehensive of a playthrough as I can get without having to rely on guides and look up things, which I still do to a certain extent, which I've been continuing some certain character quest lines that lead to certain endings, and those are very interesting to see how they end up. It's definitely one of the best Souls games as far as NPCs and their quests go, because they just keep going on and on and on, whereas before, usually you would have a couple of things happen and
now,
that
Connor,
is the end of it.
I'm looking at your trophy list right here.
Oh, yeah? What's the trophy list?
28%.
28%.
28%. Not even a full 30. Not even a third of the trophies have been collected.
Because I'm not a pathetic trophy chaser like you and Philium over
Because the young Phil Shoemaker posted in our chat today that he has achieved his platinum trophy for Elden Ring at 117 hours. Now, you in 99 hours have not even done a third of what he's managed to do in less than 100.
No. I am taking my time, as I said, every nook and cranny. And it's Elden Ring, dude. It's every nook and cranny. I saw Jason Schreier. I saw probably other people that I forgot their names giving up and saying, okay, I'm just going to go through the end. Not me. I'm still going. Every bit. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm doing it in style. With a big, great sword. Still. I'm not moving over to magic. I'm not doing any of that stupid thing that all the usual Elden Ring players do. I am going...
Just sticking to your morals. You're a man of integrity. You're a man of integrity. I respect that. Not one of faith.
No, of faith. I am a man of faith.
But you're not, because you don't use the faith class.
I do. That and strength. Very pure.
I'm confused.
Very,
I thought
very pure.
faith was the magic shit.
No, that's intelligence.
What?
Like you need intelligence. Yeah, faith is incantation, holiness, closer to godliness. So I've been still doing that, and I'm having fun.
Connor, do you have any maidens yet?
I'm going to get one. Oh, believe me, it's just a matter of time, right? It's just a matter of time. Okay, maybe I accidentally turned one into a doll. Maybe. I don't know. Definitely they're a doll. Don't know about the maiden part, but, I'll get there one day.
Okay, Connor.
I'm not going to be maidenless anymore. That one guy's going to eat his words.
He's going to eat his words? Yeah?
Yeah, he is. Yep.
All right. Good for you, buddy.
Thanks.
Connor,
Thanks.
I've been playing a new game. A little game called Weird West.
Weird West.
Yes, sir. Now, you can see the first hour or so, which I'm playing the footage now, but the first hour and 12 minutes I threw up on the YouTube channel, so you can go watch that right now. And then I went and streamed another hour or two over at twitch.tv/2pennygames. Weird West is a top-down twin-stick shooter, RPG shooter. Think Fallout, but a twin-stick shooter in the West with zombies. There's zombies in this game.
Is that the main thing? Is it mainly undead, or is
it... So far, no. It's just it's just a bunch of weird stuff happening, and I'm a bounty hunter. I'm a bounty hunter.
That's nice. That's a cool premise.
I'm collecting bounties. I'm shooting my 6-shooter. I've got a companion with me. He's a sheriff. He doesn't like it when I do bad things. But at the same time, this is a hardcore sheriff who's my little companion. He's saying, "Hey man, let's kill them." I'm like, "You're a cop. Well, we should be arresting them." And he's like, "Nah,
it's a weird west.
It's a weird west." And then every once in a while, a bunch of zombies pop out. And then like a guy will turn into a werewolf. And I'll be like, "Well, this is weird, but this is cool." Anyways, Weird West, I'm actually enjoying quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some issues with it, of course, because I've got issues with everything. But the game starts, and here we go with the first cutscene here. Bandits raid your camp, or raid your farmhouse, kill your son, kidnap your husband, and they skedaddle on out of there. And so you are quested with finding your husband and avenging your son. Now, I found out very quickly that the camera controls are not fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It is very hard to get the camera to kind of work. And then sometimes, like, when I shoot, it doesn't feel like... It feels like I'm missing, but I shouldn't be missing. And I'm like, just to finagle, this is very quickly me here plugging in a controller because the mouse and keyboard controls were so terrible.
Okay.
I'm playing this through Xbox Game Pass, by the way. So yeah, there's a lot of like, where can I even start here? So let me just start with general gameplay. So as I said, it's a top-down twin-stick shooter. You've got a myriad of weapons. Like, this is really just like a great blend of like Red Dead Redemption and Fallout here. Fallout in terms of systems, Red Dead in terms of obviously setting and sort of how like they've even got like the morality system like that Red Dead kind of uses and so forth. And then you're just out here and you're talking to people and you're accepting bounty requests and you're searching for your husband, you're hunting down this gang, all this stuff, and then in the meanwhile I'm seeing setup. The chess pieces are being laid for some weird shit to happen.
Oh, nice.
So I'm excited to continue my adventure and experience more of that. It's not like really like dialogue options. It's more of just like
how you act.
You fill in how do you react here? Do you ask more questions? If someone gets aggressive with you, do you back off? Like, or do you choose? There was one thing that was like, it was like, stand your ground, choose violence. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
So the game has some humor in it.
It does. Yeah, there's some. I wouldn't say like that's like a thing to go for, but it's definitely like there's elements of it where it's present and so forth.
It's Devolver Digital, so I thought they would have some more comedy in there. But
there is, but I think a lot of it is just tied up like with sort of just the general weirdness of the game and so forth. But it's definitely like a really, really solid game. When I am hitting my shots, it feels good. Ooh, it feels good to knock these guys down. Let me tell you what though, this game is not forgiving. You will die fast if you fuck around. You will find out, But there's a lot of things you can do to kind of turn the tide to your advantage. You can like shoot oil lanterns and spread fires, and there's explosive barrels and acid barrels all over the place that you can like kick over and launch and shoot and blow a bunch of people up. I'm searching bodies and ransacking all of the drawers and cabinets and barrels and stuff for more bullets and supplies. It almost plays like a survival game where your resources are very low. Like you don't have a lot of ammo. You don't have a lot I'm like picking up like sticks of dynamite and I'm like, oh okay, I need to like it functions as a grenade.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to like take care of this and like I need to use this in a smart way because if I throw it away and waste it, that hurts. I've got a complaint about the dynamite. When I throw it, sometimes it doesn't throw, and I end up blowing myself up. Pisses me off. Really annoying. So there's just like a level of fidelity that's not quite there with this game, but overall it is fun, it is engaging, and I am having a good time.
So it could have used some more time in the oven to hammer some things out to be more
maybe, probably.
Concise.
It's just not quite there. My biggest complaint is with the camera, because when I'm going I'm sneaking through bandit camps or whatever, and the stuff isn't deep. It's not a very deep stealth mechanic. But it gets the job done, and you do need to use stealth to kind of like get the upper hand on the bad guys, because like you'll get outnumbered and crushed fast if you aren't careful. So here we go. We're about to see like some of the first shooting. It's one of the classic like a bunch of bottles are set up, and you use that for target practice and so forth to kind of get yourself situated with that. So that's what I was doing here.
I see what you mean when it says the bullets just seem to miss when they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, right out the gate.
Yeah, like sometimes it's just like, fuck, man, like I feel like, like you see how like much I'm swerving here?
Yeah.
Like that's part of the problem is like, sometimes I feel like I over aim or I overcorrect or I don't correct enough, so on and so forth. But yeah, great, lots of weapon variety, which I wasn't expecting.
Good.
You got rifles, shotguns, pistols, revolvers. All these things are different. They all use different ammo types and stuff, so forth. So I'm excited to see what kind of grows from there. They've got a bunch of elements in the UI shadowed out right now, like grayed out. So I'm still expecting some like major mechanics to come through, and maybe I can turn into one of these werewolf people that I was talking about. Oh yeah, here's a great moment where I got stuck on geography almost immediately.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, uh-oh, and I had to figure out how to get out of that.
Can't jump.
There is a jump button. There's a roll. There's a jump. The roll is very nice.
Oh, it is.
The roll.
Good.
The roll is gonna get you out of some sticky situations. I'll tell you that. RPG mechanics are solid. Right now there's two types of I'll call them upgrade trees, if you will, and they are upgraded upon finding items in the environment. There's basically like they're like it's either like a golden card, like a playing card that you use to kind of like upgrade stats. So it's like, hey, you move faster while crouched, you reload faster, you've got more health, things like that. Or it's like a mystical like totem thing that you can pick up, and that'll give you more abilities, more class abilities that you can use. So for example, right out the gate, you have the ability to sort of do like a max pain dive and bullet time and slow, and you can aim and shoot while you're diving and stuff like that. That's like the first thing you get. And then I immediately grabbed sort of, I forget what it's called, but it's fan the hammer. That's what it is. You just spray all 6 shots of your pistol, or it's weird that they call it this because it's called fan the hammer and high noon, which are both the abilities from the McCree character in Overwatch. And high noon is exactly what you think, where like you shoot one bullet at every target in range or in sight. My rifle has an ability where I turn it on and my next bullet is silenced.
Oh, okay.
And it's stuff like that. I know that there's one down the line for shotguns if you have a double barrel, to where you'll unload both shots with the double barrel. Which, by the way, at first I was rocking with the shotgun that had like 6 shots but only like 40 hit points of damage, and then I switched to the double barrel, clearly only 2 shots, but it was like 70 points of damage. Yeah, that was a better choice.
Yeah, it seems like
get the damage in quick.
Got cool little animations when you defeat a final enemy.
Yeah. Little stuff like that.
Got
So this
some
is my
style to
first
it.
like fighting thing. Is I got ambushed by these coyotes. So like here is sort of the map. Oops. Here's like sort of the map, and let me find a better spot for it. So you're really only playing like when you're in towns, and like bandit camps, or if you get attacked in a random encounter, which happens every so often. Come on, here we go. So here we go. Here's sort of, or you'll come across like a merchant, out in the west, somewhere. So here we go. And then to get to the map, you just leave the general area, and here's sort of the map. So you'll it's just kind of like just a fast travel icon. So like you'll see your character dot here. This is where you are on the map. You'll say, hey, I want to go here. It'll say, hey, this will take 5 in-game hours to get there. And there's a day and night cycle, and there are time-based missions that you have to get to. You have to do under a certain time, or the opportunity will lose and stuff. I've yet to not complete one of these. Like every one of the bounties I've completed, which is what I'm doing for the majority of my time right now, because the bounties are the best way to get money. Excuse me. It'll be like, hey, you have 15 in-game days to do this. There was one that said you had 3 days, but it was a main mission, so I just went and did it immediately. And then like while you're making your way across the map, you might get hit with a random encounter. You have to fight for your life, so on and so forth. You might find like a little band of merchants that are just selling some random wares and stuff that you can use. Or like there was one that was on screen a little bit. I found a witch. And she was selling weird witch stuff, and I was like,
charms.
Okay, this is weird and cool. There are charms in the game that kind of like give you little stat boosts that you can equip. There's vests that give you different protection and stats and so on and so forth. Little passive stats going on. And the one thing that is kind of tricky is like. And this is like the game really does play more like a survival game than like Red Dead does, where like you've got bandages that to like heal yourself when you're in a bind. Otherwise, like you're like scavenging the environment for like some water or some food, or you like find a cooking campsite and you can cook up some food
and
real quick and it heals you immediately.
Okay.
You're not like cooking food and then holding it in your inventory. You're cooking it and eating it on the spot.
Because you have it doesn't give you an option.
It doesn't give you an option. Like, you're carrying a bunch of raw food. You can't eat the raw food. Loading screens are atrocious. They take forever. And then, like, oh, man, this moment was weird right here where, like, I found, just a weird girl. She was saying weird things. She was very scary and creepy. I didn't know what was going on with her.
Mysterious girl.
Yeah. None of the lines aren't voice acted, which is unfortunate, but I'm role-playing, and I'm sitting there. I'm doing all the funny voices myself. I'm having a good time. What else did I want to say? And the game also does this thing where there's no, like, there's a great autosave feature in the game.
Okay, good.
But there's no checkpoints. So, like, you need to be saving often.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a quick save function. You need a quick pause, and you hold a button, and you save, and you do it.
Same as that's why checkpoints were made, so that you don't have to.
So you didn't have to do this?
That.
Yeah. Seems very 2002, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how this game works. The autosave is functional enough. I've only ever had to just go back to the beginning of a mission, which is unfortunate. But then, I only make that mistake once. And when I come across the firefight that killed me last time, I save real quick so that I don't have to repeat anything I just did. But it is that classic thing of like, fuck, man, I spent 10 minutes sneaking around knocking dudes out and I didn't save at any point. So now what do? Do I just go guns blazing and just try and fight my way through it? Or do I spend another 10 minutes doing exactly what I did and, hope for the best or hope for a better scenario? Because, like, what is it called? The AI pathing changes.
Oh, okay. So, so stealth, that makes stealth a lot more difficult.
It does indeed. Yeah.
One of the better parts of the one of the better parts of the stealth system that sticks out to you, or is it more annoying than anything else, or is it just whatever?
That's fine.
Okay,
that's fine. It's fine. I'm really not impressed with the stealth mechanics right here. It's very simple. Like they can see you, they can't see you, they can kind of see you a little bit. Like stuff like that. I don't like that. Maybe this will improve when I get better melee weapons, but I can't do a lethal kill through stealth. And when you hit someone with stealth, like if you shoot them or you stab them or you punch them, because they are unaware of your presence, it does do more damage, which is nice. So like if it's like a scenario where it's like there's no way for me to sneak past this, I have to throw a stick of dynamite, I have to shoot, I have to do something. I have to kick off, and once it kicks off, then you are doing a bunch of damage. I'm going to pause it right here and stop while it's on this. So you're picking up a bunch of weapons. You're just picking up a bunch of shit. Mm-hmm. And they've got... they do the nice thing of, like, when you look at an icon in your inventory, it tells you how many of that item you have, even weapons. Because weapons take up individual slots of inventory. Like, they don't stack. So it'll be like, hey... This is the classic 6-shooter or whatever. You have 3 of these. So immediately I'm like, oh, I can get rid of 2 of these immediately.
Yeah.
And you can either do that by dropping them or scrapping them. Scrapping is where you just take them apart and tear them apart, and you have the chance to get more bullets out of them. So it's important, I'm looting everybody. I'm picking up all the weapons because it's giving me bullets, and I'm using that to survive. Because you will run out. You will run out. And I haven't yet because I'm being so meticulous in scrapping everything that I come across and so forth. And then there are crafting things that the game has not fully expanded on for me yet, but it's getting there. So there is a lot of things of like, hey, you'll get raw materials, some iron, some gold, and you can use that to craft ingots, which you can sell for more money, or you can use it to craft weapons and armor and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, nice.
So all of the RPG mechanics, I'm really enjoying and I'm really liking. I like all that. The stealth is fine. The shooting is fine to good. AI is extremely aggressive. Very, very aggressive.
It's a good thing.
Oh, and if you see an AI throw a stick of dynamite at you, you get the fuck up out of there. You are not surviving that shit. The dynamite will kill you instantly.
That's good, though. Good to have grenades that just do tons and tons of things.
But I don't know if it's because the AI is just rushing me because they're over-aggressive and they're not that smart, or if the AI is actually smart and, like, if I'm behind cover and I'm popping shots at them and they're staying back, someone will throw dynamite at the worst time. Like, they throw dynamite and then 2 dudes are flanking me at the same time. So I'm like, oh, shit, y'all are pushing me out of cover as you're all pushing. I don't know if it's just like luck that's happened or if like they're actually planning these assaults on me.
See how much more it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, but like when shit pops off, I don't always feel like the most in control, and maybe this is just because I just need to get more comfortable with the systems and how combat works. You get into cover by just crouching behind a piece of cover, and then it's nice because you can aim while in cover, but you don't actually pop out until you take your shot.
Okay.
Which is nice. And so forth. And then, you're spending a lot of time reloading and so forth. So I'm doing a lot of like, you can see how like meticulous, like I'm sitting here, I'm waiting for the guy in the back to turn around so I can push this guy and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think it works out here. I think I actually end up dying here.
Oh, okay.
So on and so forth. And it's like, hey, attack at night or, and like if you're low on health and resources and maybe you can't survive the trek back home, you have the opportunity to set up camp. And I've yet to do this, but from my understanding is when you set up camp and rest, you'll get your health back. But I assume also there's a chance that you will be attacked.
Yeah, that sounds about right. For
this type of game, it sounds about right. So you saw there, like, that guy was unaware when I shot him, so he took some extra damage here. Do I? Oh, I do. Yeah, because this is the first time I die, and I found out very quickly, hey, don't fuck around. The dynamite will kill you instantly.
Yeah,
it's
right
not
away.
It's not a numbers game with that. Or at least not yet, So yeah, so far I'm really, really enjoying my time with Weird West. I do plan on continuing it and having a great time. Probably going to stream some more of it, even though, it's not the best streaming game, so we'll see.
No, it's because a lot more slower, I'm guessing.
It's very slow.
Yeah.
It's very slow. But I'm having fun role playing and, doing the funny voices and stuff and talking back and forth. And, I'm actually having a pretty good time with this. This is a game that, if you have Game Pass or if you're looking for something new to play, put this on your radar because this is a good time, especially if you're an RPG fan, or like just a cowboy fan, like you like the Wild West and all that stuff. Definitely check it out. I'm waiting for it to get weird. Weirder, like there's definitely some stuff, like, because there's zombies and there's like werewolf people walking around and stuff and some witches are doing some weird stuff. I found a dude who was cursed by a witch and he got put into like a little totem. So now I'm carrying him around looking for another witch that can break the curse for him.
Yeah.
I found another, there was a woman who said, hey, I have this box. Can you just hold on to this box for me? Don't open it. I'll be back. And I'm sitting here with this box, taking up a spot in my inventory. I'm like, I don't know what to do with it.
She hasn't come back yet, then.
She scared me, though. She was very scary. Yeah, she hasn't come back. But as soon as she does come back, here, you can have it, lady. I don't want to fuck with you.
Might have just been a crackhead, though.
Maybe.
Open it up, just
maybe.
bunch of crack.
I'm a guess. Probably not. I just got to the point where I bought my first horse, which increases your inventory space dramatically and decreases travel time dramatically.
As it should.
You can steal horses to get out of a bind really fast, but if you steal a horse, as soon as you arrive at your destination, they run off and they leave you. Where buying one, they're just kind of hanging out with you the whole time.
Nice.
So that's nice. Companions are dumb. The AI for the companions are dumb.
It's hard to get them right.
They are very much just charging into situations. They're not using cover. They're just blasting everything in sight. Like, they're very dumb. There is a nice subsystem in which if you're helping people out, you have the chance of making a friend for life, they call it. And in which case, if you get into a firefight and shit is getting tense or whatever, a friend for life has a chance of coming in and helping you in the firefight. Nice. They'll come in and take a couple of shots. If people die, they're dead.
Oh, okay.
They're gone. Like, there's no like reviving it. Like, I had a firefight where like shit went south, and my little deputy companion died, and then he was just dead, and that was it. And the game tells you up front, they say, hey man, there's going to be a lot of people with guns who can come and help you out. Don't worry about a companion if they die. But I'm sitting here, I'm like, no, I forget his name. Gale? Something like that?
Hey, well, whatever. He's dead now.
No, well, then I died and reloaded and he was back.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, this is definitely going to be one of the more interesting games that I'm going to be playing this year. Is it going to be one of the best? Probably not, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And, you know, the writing is pretty solid and engaging enough to where, like, I am reading everything and I'm, you know, caring about everybody's little adventures and so forth. And the gameplay is fun and strategic enough to where I'm having a good time, but it's punishing enough to where I don't feel like I'm just blasting dudes. Like I am like, okay, I gotta play it. So almost like XCOM level of not in gameplay, but just in like a, hey man, don't fuck up because we'll fuck you.
Yeah.
You know?
Hit your shots.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's even like a thing like you can walk up to a cactus and poke it and then drink cactus juice and get some health back, you know? Stuff like that. There's a lot of resources for you to advance and to get to get the job done. When you knock people out, their bodies can be found and everyone will be put on high alert. I've yet to have somebody wake up after being knocked out, but I'm sure it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
I've completed 4 bounties, I think.
Oh, really?
I think I've completed 4 bounties, one of which I did knock him out and bring him back. And the way that works is actually interesting because you'll knock him out and you'll put him in handcuffs, and then he's just like a little AI follower who follows you around. And then I got into a firefight and I had to protect him. Yeah. And then I just took him back to the thing, and that bounty specifically, there was no benefit with bringing him in alive, but I'm sure eventually there will be wanted alive bounties where they'll pay more for if they're alive and stuff. But yeah, Wild West, put it on your radar, guys. It's a really fun, really solid game. Connor, any questions?
Not really.
No?
You get a lot of you're only like what? I guess 3 hours in.
3-ish, yeah, 3 hours in or so. So like I'm still early, but I'm this is definitely a game that I keep saying it. Put it on your radar because it's good. It's quite good.
Good.
If you're looking for something new, this is one that you should be looking for something, looking to do. Probably gonna be one of my favorite indie games to come out this year.
Good job, Devolver.
Yeah, real good. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for your 2 Penny Gamescast episode 90. Remember, you can catch us every Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time, youtube.com/2pennygamescast, or mainstream podcast services of your choice. We're on the SoundCloud, the Spotify, the Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Please like, subscribe, follow, rate us, share us with a friend. We would really, really appreciate it. Remember, you can see the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie review live right now. Catherine, if you're watching this the day the podcast comes out, Catherine, after the hype review, is coming out tomorrow at 8 a.m. Twitch.tv/2pennygames to watch me play some games live this week, where normally we would do some hype, but we're not this week. And I don't think we are next week either, because my buddy Phil is out of town. Mm-hmm. We will be coming back with some, I believe we're coming back with some Sly Cooper when we do come back, though. So keep an eye out for that. Hype recordings of Metal Gear Solid 3, our Metal Gear Solid 3 hype playthrough is going live later this week. Keep an eye out for that as well. And other than that, everybody have a great week. And until next week, Connor, say goodbye to the people.
See you, Space Cowboy.